Hi, I'm Belinda Risley, founder of MotiV8 Training and the Motorsport Sponsorship Club. This podcast is for grassroots motorsport athletes and parents who want to build successful careers both on and off the track. Each episode, I'll share practical strategies, sponsorship insights, and real-world advice to help build your brand, attract sponsors, and create more opportunities in the world of motorsports, because racing careers aren't built on the racetrack alone. Let's get started in today's episode. Hello team, and welcome to this week's episode of the Motorsport Sponsorship Podcast. I am your host, Belinda Risley. And team, I'm going to ask, have you ever looked at another athlete and wonder why they seem to always have the sponsors while you're still trying to work out where to start? We are going to touch base with what I have learned over the last 20 odd years working in motorsport sponsorship. And it's not normally because they have a lot more value to offer. It is because they have already laid the tracks before asking for sponsorship. So we're going to go into more details around about what do I mean by about laying the tracks. One of the biggest mistakes I see athletes and parents make is believing sponsorship starts when you send your first email. And it doesn't, team, unfortunately. Sponsorship starts months before you even contact a business. It's even the thought. Really, I always say you should start sponsorship seeking when you invest in motorsports, when you buy your first car, that is when you need to start seeking sponsorship, because regardless of how much money you come into the sport with, it certainly just dries out, or you get enough of spending all of your hard-earned money inside of this wonderful hobby/career progress. So it's important we start seeking sponsorship ASAP. But just like you wouldn't build a race car on a race day, team, you shouldn't start looking for sponsorship the minute that you need it, before the foundations are built. You need to lay the tracks first. Sponsorship isn't about finding sponsors, it's about becoming sponsor ready. So before you start making a list of businesses to contact and identifying your value, ask yourself, if a sponsor said yes tomorrow, would you actually be ready? And when I say ready, I mean, would you be confidently be able to tell your story? Do you have a personal brand? Do you know what value? Do you know how to take their money? Do you know what you're going to offer them in return for their investment? Do you have your personal brand established, your photos, your values, a proposal, media kit, so many things? Or would you spend the next month trying to put it all together? So basically laying the tracks is setting up your process, your systems behind the scenes before you actually go out and seek sponsorship. So just like a business, a small business, any side of business really, you need to be doing your market research. You need to be identifying where the gaps are. You need to be finding your audience. What's the best social media platform to market to them? You need to research and establish your systems before you start seeking sponsorship. So team, you need to build your sponsorship systems before you need it. So successful athletes don't just have goals, they actually do have systems put into place. They have systems when it comes to how they're training, they're having systems to how they're eating, how they're recovering, and how they're gaining sponsorship is, again, another side of a system. So ask yourself, do you have a process for researching potential sponsors? Do you know how you can nurture relationships before asking for support? Do you have a follow-up system? So when someone says no, what kind of process do you put them in? So what is your sales system? What does that look like? Do you know how you're going to activate sponsors? Once you've said, hey, we can offer you some site activations or online activations, do you actually know how you're going to do that behind the scenes? Do you have your reporting process put into place? Most athletes don't fail because they become bad drivers. They fail because they don't get sponsorship, and they fail because they don't have a repeatable sponsorship system. So team, again, what does your current sponsorship system look like, if at all do you have one? So our next point, team, is organizing our off-track assets. So I want you to think about how much time do you waste every week looking for the things, like your photos, scrolling through your phones, going back, looking at the videos that you've taken on the weekend, looking for your logo on the white background or the black background or this font or those kind of colors, trying to work out your social media content for that weekend, looking for any previous testimonials you may have for sponsors, but imagine having everything organized into one place. So when it comes time to create content or send a proposal or reply to an email, maybe a sponsor or a prospect has asked some questions regarding some previous data from a last race meeting, or where you competed there 12 months ago. What was the race attendance like? What was the TV viewing like? You need to have this data, and it'd be great if you could have it all into one place. So professional athletes don't scramble, they are prepared. So how prepared are you with all of your racing content, your off-track systems and processes? Do you have them all into one folder, whether it's on a Dropbox or whether it's in a Google Drive, or if it's old school, if it's in a shoebox? I don't care how it is, team, but I'm recommending that you can put everything into one folder, one process. So it's a lot more easier to access when you are trying to get information for not only for your prospects, but also for your social media content as well. And I don't know if you've been hiding under a rock in the last couple of years, team, but we have the wonderful world now of AI. And whether you're using ChatGPT, whether you're using Claude, whether you're using Gemini, there are so many tools that can assist you when it comes to seeking sponsorship, as this is your biggest time-saving tool. So this is something I'm incredibly passionate about so far, that I'm actually putting a course together, surprise, surprise, around about how you can utilize AI to build out your whole sponsorship strategy. So stay tuned for that. There actually will be a link to today's show notes. So if you've been playing around with AI, or you actually have no idea about AI and how it can help save you time when it comes to seeking sponsorship, there will be a link in today's show notes. So just race over and just register your interest. And when I finish building that out, I can send you some more information. But team, AI isn't scary. It's not here to replace you, because at the end of the day, businesses invest in people, and sponsorship is very much a people versus people relationship. But it's here to save you hours each and every week. So team, just imagine like being able to draft the social media caption in minutes based off your own brand voice and tone, being able to brainstorm some sponsorship ideas based on what current value you currently have available, that it can write race reports faster for you, that it can do updates and prepare your content calendar. Also being helped to do that research side around about potential sponsors. And of course, refine your emails and sponsorship proposals specifically for each and every prospect that you have to come through your books. So AI is a great tool, team, if you know how to use it efficiently. So again, if you're looking for some more ideas on how to do it, we do use it a lot inside of the Motorsport Sponsorship Club. But I do have that training course coming up probably around about mid-September online and how to help you build out your actual own personal ChatGPT or bot. And also actually now I'm doing Claude as well. So team, don't be scared to use AI. The athletes who learn how to use AI are now giving themselves more time to focus on what really matters, racing and of course building relationships. So again, sponsorship is built on personal relationships. Now, I know it's really hard to think of yourself as a business owner, but if you are wanting to take your career to the next level, or you are wanting to seek sponsorship, motorsports is expensive and you need to think like a small business owner. That's why you can't afford to approach it like a hobby if you're serious about attracting sponsors, unfortunately, Dee. And people don't realize how much a time and effort goes into seeking sponsors behind the scenes. But again, throughout my career, I've seen so many athletes not progress inside of motorsports purely not because of their racing results, but they haven't had the adequate time, resource, and education on how to improve their sponsorship seeking skills. So the athletes who consistently secure sponsorship treat their racing like a business. They're going to have systems, processes, plans, goals. They don't rely on motivation, and they certainly don't rely on results themselves. They rely on preparation. And that is exactly what Laying the Tracks is all about. Laying the Tracks is a module inside of the Motorsport Sponsorship Club. It is also a standalone program that you can invest in. But I'm just wanting to promote today that you can do these these foundations without me by yourself, team. It's just sitting down and working out what is your processes, systems, and goals into seeking sponsorship. But before you even think about approaching a sponsor this week, complete your own track audit. So here's a little bit of a tool for you. Ask yourself, do I have all my photos and videos organized? Do I have a sponsorship folder on my computer? Do I have a list of potential sponsors in an Excel sheet? It doesn't have to be fancy, team. If you're into project management, you can use tools like Monday, Trello, but you can certainly just use an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document. Do you have a system to research, nurture, and activate sponsors? So when you're researching them, once again, when they say no, what is your sales system? What is your sales process? If they say yes, how do you onboard them? If they say no, how do you continue to nurture them? How do you continue to keep them up to date about what your sponsorship journey looks like? Have you considered setting up AI? Have you looked into the free plans, into all of these wonderful AI tools that are currently available? But more importantly, do you know what to do if a sponsor said yes to you tomorrow? So team, if you answered no to several of those questions, don't worry, because you're exactly where most grassroots motorsport athletes start. And the good news is that all of these are foundations that you can build out. And once you've laid the tracks, everything else comes a lot easier. So if today's episode made you realize there are a few gaps in your foundation, don't be discouraged. That's exactly why I created the Motorsport Sponsorship Club. And as I said, laying the tracks is where we're building the systems, the tools, and habits every grassroots athlete and parent needs before approaching sponsors. Together, we create your sponsorship roadmap, organize your resources, introduce AI tools to save you time, and build a repeatable process you can use prospect after prospect. Because sponsorship success doesn't start with sending proposals. It starts by laying the track. So team, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, I'd love you to race over and leave a review, good or bad. If you have enjoyed it, I'd love you to also forward it on to a racing family and friend that would find value, especially if they're getting started in motorsport sponsorship. Until next week, team, we'll have a brand new audit about how sponsor ready are you. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Until next time. Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Motorsport Sponsorship Podcast. If today's episode helped you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another motorsport family. And if you're ready to take your off-track development seriously, find out more about the Motorsport Sponsorship Club using the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep building your brand, keep building relationships, and remember, the work you do off the track can be just as important as the laps you complete on it.